Welcome to Slasher Sunday. Now, I know I was supposed to do Wolf Creek Season 1 this week and Wolf Creek Season 2 next week, but I can't even express in words how busy my week was this week. Like, it's absolutely insane how much hair I did, how much shit I did outside of work. My car broke down. I had to buy a new car. It doesn't matter. I did so much this week. There was no fucking time. I had no time. Seriously, almost zero for when I was able to watch it because I don't have internet here at my house. So I have to watch it when I'm at work. And while I was at work, I was like, I can't focus. And anytime I got like a moment to do anything, I threw on like a movie here or there to watch like 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there. But I just didn't want to do that with a TV series that I was trying to like really like watch back to back and try to get like a feeling so I could do it all in one review. Anyways, that's, these kinds of things, when I do this, I don't realize that these aren't going to age well. Where it's like, a year from now, people are going to press play on this and they'll be like, I don't give a fuck about Wolf Creek. I'm here to listen to a bloody birthday fucking review, you asshole. Let's get to it. So let's get to it. Yeah, all right. Bloody Birthday, starring Billy Jacoby himself. This is a big reason why I love this film, is because Buddy from Just One of the Guys is one of the kids in this movie. Now, the poster, the original poster right here, with the four kids, by the way. So one, there's this big tall kid in the back. None of these are the killer kids. Not a single one. So, or is it? It doesn't look like. Well, kind of looks like them. But who's the tall kid? I don't fucking know, man. Maybe that's these three down here. Maybe that is the kids. It doesn't. One of them looks like the main kid. I don't fucking know. Wow. Okay. Whatever. Anyway, so these kids are all born on an eclipse where it blocks like Saturn or Jupiter or some bullshit. Some astrology nonsense. And this blocks their emotion. I think it's Jupiter. Whatever. But yeah, they're born in this moment, on this night. I'm guess like all three of them were born at the exact same minute in the exact same small town. All three. So this was fated to be. Is that what we're getting at? Is the fact that they all three were born exactly in the same moment is ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. But whatever, they are, and we get this opening kill where we get a lot of tits in this movie. Holy shit, ton of nudity in this film, and they're all fine, but one in particular, oh my good god, man, it's unbelievably beautiful showing, and it's for a long extended period of time. You can also tell, like, just like me, like I have an appreciation for all the tits in this movie, but there's one pair that really takes the cake, the birthday cake, obviously. And that's the tits that they happen to focus on for, I don't know, 3 straight minutes. I mean, seriously, there's a scene where this girl's dancing around. It's the, little girl in this movie, one of the killer kids. It's her sister. And she's like making the other kids pay her to have a little peep show on her sister. And her sister's tits are out of control. Fantastic. Perfection. Like, couldn't have crafted them better myself if I was a fucking artist. So, yeah, I found it funny because, there's probably like 4 sets in the movie. And they're all to like varying degrees. But like, this set is like top tier fucking perfection, and it's just funny to me that that's the one that they happen to focus on for this long extended period of time, which really begs the question for me, like, when they ask for nudity scenes in auditions, are they we got to see your tits? I mean, they have to, right? I mean, they don't have to. They don't have to. But I would expect, because they're not just gonna wait for the scene to like have her start shooting it, and then she pulls off her top, and she's got like National Geographic's fucking tits hanging to her knees, nipples are elongated like this. Like, they gotta do some kind of like tit reveal beforehand. Like, all right, so you say you're okay with nudity, let us see. Let us make, there's going to be a lot of people around, so we're just going to have to make sure. And then the girl shows, and you're like, next? I can't imagine. In this scene, in this movie, really makes me believe there's no way that's coincidental that, and maybe she gave the best performance, and then they were like, crossing their fingers when she took off her top in that scene, and then they saw him and they were like, oh, thank fucking Christ for making those perfect. Yeah, just, I don't know. How does that work? How does that work? How do you cast nudity in movies? You go like, give me the titties, or you're not getting the job. I think it's important personally, but whatever, moving on. Yes, I just talked about tits for like 3 straight minutes. Are you surprised? Welcome to Sinister Cinema Reviews. But so we get this couple in the graveyard. Dude, guys, don't fuck in a graveyard. Like, honestly, I don't really believe in anything. Like, I don't really hold much sacred, but there's just something wrong. Like, you don't go piss on someone's grave, right? Like, even if you're someone who's like, there's no afterlife, there's no God, there's no nothing, there's no meaning, this and that. It's just extremely disrespectful to the memory of somebody to go, like, piss on their grave, or to go fuck in their grave. Yes, this couple goes and climbs down into a dug fucking grave and starts to fuck. Who fucks in a grave? I've seen people fuck in a graveyard. I've seen people fuck on top of caskets, inside caskets, but I've never seen someone like climb down into a grave and start fucking on top of that. That's crazy. Like, they don't want to be seen, right? So they're like, oh, it's a hole. It's down on the ground. Like, if we do it in here, we'll be the cover of the hole in the nighttime, right? We'll get in the hole and I'll get in your hole. It's just, dude, as I said, I don't hold much sacred, but going into a graveyard and fucking, like, in someone's grave just seems extremely, extremely wrong. Maybe that's just me. Maybe you guys are sitting there shaking your head and you're like, I'll fuck on anything, man. I'll fuck on my mom's corpse, like in You're Next, like when she's trying to get him to fuck her next to like his dead mom or his dead dad. I can't remember who it is. I think it's the mom. Yeah, it's the mom. But yeah, don't have sex in the graveyard. It's just not cool. Anyways, and the hair in this movie makes me want to fucking jump into the grave that they were fucking in and bury myself. It's just atrocious. Like, it's weird. As a hairdresser for so long, I look at haircuts and styles in movies like this, and I think, like, if they were to take me back in time right now, I have 2 thoughts. Number one, would I be able to cut that hair and give them what they want? Do I know how to do what they're asking for back then? And I look at them and I try to figure it out. And I think if you gave me enough time, I could figure it out, but I'm really confused at what I'm looking at. Like, the layering and everything just doesn't make, like, almost any sense to me. How they get it to, like, bow out so much, like, in certain areas, and like the way that their wave pattern is and their styling and all that. I'm just like, what the fuck am I looking at, man? This is all like rollers and like, what is this nonsense? But then the other question would then be like, if I went back to the 70s or the 80s and I tried to give them modern haircuts of now, like what's in right now, if I did like longer layers and beach waves and shit like that, and balayage, like if I pulled out bleach, although the bleach back then really wouldn't balayage very well. Regardless, doesn't matter. But if I like tried to do those techniques on them and I landed it and I like made it look like how hair looks now, would they be into it? I don't know. I think they'd be like, "What is this? Like, what the fuck did you just put on my head? I look like shit." And I'd be like, "You look amazing. Okay, what you wanted would make you look like shit. Trust me. You're gonna look back on the pictures of what you would have done and wanted to fucking burn the evidence. So I'm doing you a favor. Trust me." But just goddamn, man, the main girl in this movie, the big sister who ends up being the one who captures two of the three kids. She's kind of a babe. But my God, her hair is just an abomination. It's just so bad. I can't take it. And the hole that they do the peep show through is enormous. How does she not know that hole's there in her closet? And why doesn't she ever close her closet door? Like, it's all just so convenient. I don't care. I mean, I watched some of the most amazing things I've ever seen fucking in a dance sequence for about 3 straight minutes, so I'm glad. I would go into her room and I would take the door off the hinges so she could never close it and open up that freaking peephole a little bigger so I can turn it into a glory hole that she would never even touch. But whatever. I still want the option. And this film very, very much, let's say, borrows or is inspired by Halloween and Friday the 13th. I mean, they wear this all over their sleeves. So these two girls walking and talking down the street together, and they're talking about their boyfriend, Paul. "Oh, Paul, I can no longer stall." And then, one of the girls' dads like pulls up next to him. He's a cop. It's just like it's totally Annie and Linda, and just take away, or Lori, sorry, and take away Linda. And then the music is extremely Friday the 13th. There's just no doubt about it. I mean, it has airs of like Jaws and maybe some Psycho, but of course, Friday the 13th is kind of ripped off Psycho, so it makes sense. But it's like, at points I was like, is this just straight up Friday the 13th music right now? Because it sure as shit feels like it. They lock this kid in the fridge and then he like MacGyvers his way out. That's pretty badass, man. So kudos to that kid for surviving. And then of course the sister doesn't believe him that he was locked in a fridge. That's kind of fucked up. Her reactions to things in this movie are questionable. Like when he comes clean and is like, so your friend is being peeped on by my friends. And she just laughs and she's like, "Oh, don't worry, I won't tell mom," and this and that. Like, I don't know how to feel about that. I think that I'm just so used to like 2020 culture that it's hard to put myself in the headspace of the early 80s. Like the early 80s were just a different time. People just weren't as sensitive. People just weren't as, privy to things that would be thought of as, wrong and perverted and warning signs for future problems. So but just her reaction is pretty funny to me, where she just laughs and is like, "You little peeping Tom," like this and that. I don't think it's like disingenuous. I don't think that it like doesn't work for the time period. It's just funny to watch it now, where people's reactions now to like some boys spying on a girl while she's getting undressed, like definitely a much different reaction these days. And even when she breaks it to her friend, she tells her like laughing, and then her friend's reaction is like, "Oh no, really? Oh, okay." And she doesn't even cover up the hole. She doesn't even confront the kids or her sister, even though she does later in the movie, so it doesn't really match her character. It's very odd. That all just felt odd to me. And I like how Billy Jacoby's character here goes in and points a gun at a teacher. Now, granted, she thinks it's a replica, but if a kid comes in and points a gun at you that looks real, you have a serious problem on your hands, okay? You have the next Michael Myers in your classroom. You need to do something about this. She just goes back to like washing dishes and gets shot. And it's like, I don't really feel that bad for you. Like, who lets a child point even a fake gun at them that looks real? And she's just like, don't do that. Anyway, moving on with my life. Just absolutely ridiculous. And then the car chase in the junkyard. I think this is a really cool looking scene because the kids are like, in disguises. One of them is like dressed in like a ghost costume almost, and he's chasing her around the junkyard, and her like leg gets conveniently caught in some wire or something. It's pretty silly, but I still like the look of the car and the ghost behind the wheel and her running for her life. So I think all that's pretty damn cool. And then I just keep writing down. There's like tits for so long, opening tits. Oh, and I forgot to even mention his little like freaking what would be considered now basically like a rape technique. He has this cute little thing where he's like, "We're gonna play ambulance. I'm gonna go up your leg and I'm gonna pretend to be an ambulance with my hand, and you tell me when to stop by saying red light." And so he goes to do it, and then she says red light, and he's like, "Have you ever heard of an ambulance stopping at a red light?" Yeah, let's see that hold up in court, buddy. Good luck. And but yeah, I'm just like, more tits, more tits. There's so many tits in this movie. It's great. I like how Billy Jacoby's like on pursuit to kill somebody, and then he just gets distracted by a random couple in a van, so he goes over there and just kills both of them. And man, he loves holding this gun in this movie. He has a psychotic little smile, that kid, man. Yeah, he grows up to be one of my favorite characters of all time, Buddy from Just One of the Guys. But in this movie, that his creepy ass smile, man, is something. I really dig it. I really dig it. He really looks psychotic holding that gun. And then he totally sets up our main chick here into believing that he poisoned the frosting of the cake. And, of course, that's to discredit her later on, which is a pretty cool and smart move. And then the perfect titted sister finds the scrapbook from her sister there, and of course she goes rats her out to mom. So then the little sister gives the big sister an arrow straight to the eyeball, which is fucking ridiculous because this girl pulls back the bowstring like this much, and somehow not later in the movie she even like pulls it back just a little bit, and then it flings all the way across the room and into the wall. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how little that girl pulls it back. And this sends her mom to a psych ward, which not only plays into that, but it also plays into the end of the movie as well. And then Debbie, that's her name. I like that pretty much throughout the entire film, like no one suspects Debbie at all. Like at all. It's pretty funny to me. Like no matter what happens, even though she's around for a good amount of it, they're like, well, it can't be little Debbie, It's gotta be these other kids, little shitheads. And when Billy Jacoby's running around with a house with a gun, he fires it so many times. They do show him reload, but he would have had to reload like 5 times to shoot as many bullets as he does. And then he runs out of bullets, and then he gets hogtied. The one thing that I feel like this movie is missing is kid death. Like, if you're gonna have killer kids like this, you need to kill one of them. They need to kill other kids. Like, it's all adults being killed in this. And for the kind of sleazy movie that it is, I don't know. For me, it could have used some kid death. I think it would have added to the shock value of this film, and it would have made sense for the characters and everything to do it. And then at the end of this, when they're all when the other two are captured and Debbie's still there, the mom like comes out of the psych ward and grabs her daughter and is just like, I don't want her to get in trouble for this because I've already lost my other daughter, and my husband, who they, made it look like he fell down onto the skateboard, but they actually just like hit him in the back of the head with a baseball bat when he was trying to make sure his little daughter was okay. Oh my God, what a horrible way to die. To just be checking on your little cute daughter, and you're like, oh hey honey, and then some kid she hangs out just comes and cracks you in the back of the head and just beats you and clubs you to death with it. Like you're killed by like what, 10-year-olds, one of them being your daughter. It's like inconceivable. And yes, that word does mean what I think it means. But yeah, so yeah, she covers for the daughter. She can't lose her daughter. And then she's like, don't worry, Mom, I'll be a good little girl. And of course it pans over and she's killed somebody by dropping a fucking car on them, like letting the jack out from this truck. Although the way it's positioned, it's just literally a guy laying next to a car, well, like a big truck where the wheel, or the fuck, it's like it's the oh, what the fuck is that thing called? Rotor. And like that's like laying on the ground, and like his head's like just next to it. He's literally just laying under a truck like this, and there's blood around him, and it's like, what did exactly fall on, and where's that blood coming from? Because not one part of that truck is pinning this guy. Not one part of that truck is making it look like this guy was touched by this thing. Why don't they just take like a fake looking body, like a body, have him wear like gloves and everything? He's a mechanic, he's working on something, he could be wearing gloves. So have him sitting under there like a dummy, and have that thing be down on his head and just blood everywhere. That would make so much more sense. But if you look at the scene, it doesn't look like this truck has hit him anywhere. It's so stupid. But she, her killing ways continue. She's never gonna stop, of course. And I think that's it for the most part. But really cool performances here. And definitely an overlooked slasher, although I would assume some people would be like, this is a killer kids movie, it's a different subgenre. If that's, the way you think about it, I disagree, because I have the teenage slasher movie book over there, and it has this in there as a slasher. So if you want to blame something, blame the book. But I'm so tired. Holy shit, man. It's been a week. It's been a fucking week, guys. Holy Christ. I'm surprised I even got any of this done. But anyways, I gotta go to bed. Or I gotta do Monster Monday. We'll see. Adios.